Grab your pepper spray and don't make eye contact. We're headed into the belly of the beast. America's worst neighborhoods. That's right, I've made the treacherous journey into the urban war zones that locals avoid, like the plague, to bring you an exclusive look at the mean streets that define misery. We'll be dodging bullets and broken glass, so strap on your Kevlar and say your prayers, because we're going where only fools, junkies, and this intrepid reporter dare to tread. Forget those safe little suburbs. We're on a quest to uncover the dark heart of the American dream turned nightmare. The cops won't even come here, so stick close and watch your back as we explore the crumbling ruins of neighborhoods that will haunt your nightmares. This is gonzo journalism at its grittiest, so buckle up for a first-hand glimpse into the urban apocalypse that awaits behind these walls marked "Abandon Hope, all ye who enter here." Now let's get into America's most dangerous neighborhoods and the top worst cities to live in based on crime rates. If you're the adventurous type who enjoys living life on the edge, these neighborhoods are for you. Me, I prefer my limbs attached and wallet unpilfered, so I'll admire them from afar. Let's start with City Center East St. Louis. This Midwestern paradise has a violent crime rate 175% higher than average. You've got a 1 in 12 chance of being involved in a crime here daily. Lovely. Between the abandoned buildings, stray dogs, and locals who look like they just escaped a maximum security prison, you'll feel like you're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The homes are either cramped apartments or destitute shacks, so curb appeal is non-existent. Honestly, the kindest thing that could happen here is a bulldozer-led urban renewal project. If you value your life, avoid East St. Louis at all costs. Next up is West End Cincinnati. Don't let the historic architecture fool you. West End Cincinnati is dangerous. Violent crime is common, with a 1 in 12 chance of becoming a victim. Recently, 3 people were shot in one night, 1 fatally. By day, the streets look normal, but at night, it becomes a scene from The Purge. You'll see boarded-up windows, trash, abandoned homes, and the general dregs of society. Locals here don't live long or prosper. For your safety, steer clear of the West End. Moving on to downtown Rockford. Rockford, Illinois seems quaint, but its downtown is plagued by violence. You have a 1 in 13 chance of being involved in a crime daily. Pedestrians get mowed down by cars, people get shot at bars, or while sitting in their cars, and stabbings are frequent. Even high school football games aren't immune from shootings. The streets may look clean, but danger lurks around every corner in downtown Rockford. Save yourself the trauma and avoid this neighborhood. Next up is Memphis, Tennessee. If you thought Elvis's hometown was all rock and roll, think again. The Bluff City ranks as the 4th most dangerous city in America. With a violent crime rate over twice the national average, you'd have better luck surviving an alligator wrestling match than a stroll down Beale Street after dark. Past the fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches, I'm out of here. Moving on now to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Who knew the Brew City could be so brutal? Milwaukee averages over 100 reported incidents of violent crime each week, and that's not counting the Packers fans after a loss. Between the muggings, murders, and missing cheese curds, this city is anything but Midwestern nice. Time to tap out and grab an ice-cold Leinenkugels. Next up is Cleveland, Ohio. Once known as the best location in the nation, Cleveland is now better known as the mistake by the lake. With a violent crime rate over 3 times higher than the rest of Ohio, Cleveland lives up to its nickname. Whether you're dodging bullets on the east side or dumpster diving on the west side, life in the Cleve ain't easy. If LeBron can leave, so can you. St. Louis, Missouri. If you're looking for trouble, St. Louis has plenty to spare. With over 50 reported violent crimes each day, the gateway to the west is more like a gateway to your worst nightmare. Home to sprawling urban decay, abandoned buildings, and danger around every corner, St. Louis proves that not all Midwestern hospitality is warm and fuzzy. Time to make your escape and head back east, partner. In the end, while these cities may have rich histories, cultural attractions, and die-hard sports fans, their alarming crime rates prove that looks can be deceiving. Unless you have a death wish, I'd suggest living anywhere else. Here are some factors that make a neighborhood high risk. As one of the unlucky saps who's had the misfortune of living in a few of America's crummiest hoods, I know what makes a place risky business: lack of law and order. When the cops are too scared to patrol and the residents have given up calling 911, you know you're in trouble. The criminals run the show, and they don't take kindly to newcomers. You'll be lucky if a welcome to the neighborhood greeting doesn't come with a side of strong-armed robbery. Economic blight. No jobs, no money, no hope. When the big employers pack up and leave, what's left are empty factories, boarded-up storefronts, and generations of people with no way out. Desperation breeds crime like rats breed in a landfill, drugs and violence. You can't have one without the other. Where there are drugs, there are dealers and junkies. Where there are dealers and junkies, there are guns and gangs to protect their business interests. And where there are guns and gangs, There are drive-bys, turf wars, and innocent lives caught in the crossfire. The unholy trinity of lawlessness, poverty, and narcotics is what turns neighborhoods into hellholes. Take it from me. If you value your life and property, steer clear of any place suffering from this toxic combination. Some sins of the city are better left unseen. Here are some safety tips for avoiding bad neighborhoods. Look, I'm no expert on personal safety, but I know a thing or two about avoiding dangerous areas after years of wandering into the wrong places at the wrong times. My survival instincts are finely tuned, and if there's one thing they've taught me, it's this: when in doubt, don't go out. Trust your gut. If a neighborhood gives you the heebie-jeebies, don't stick around to find out why. Your gut knows what's up even if your brain hasn't caught on yet. Those tingles on the back of your neck are evolution's way of saying, get out of here before you become a headline. Listen to them. Do your research. In today's world of crowdsourced data, there's no excuse for stumbling blindly into a bad area. Check sites that track crime stats and see how the neighborhood rates. Look for recent news reports about assaults, robberies, or other seedy goings-on. Search online for phrases like, is this a safe area? The locals will tell you all you need to know. Travel in groups. There's safety in numbers, so explore questionable areas with a group of friends if you must go at all. Bad guys are less likely to target a group, and there are more eyes and ears to spot potential threats. If traveling solo is unavoidable, at least tell someone where you're going and check in regularly. Stay alert. Keep your wits about you in dodgy neighborhoods. Walk with purpose. Avoid lingering on empty streets and don't bury your head in your phone. Make eye contact with people walking by so they know you've seen them. Stay in well-lit, high-traffic areas as much as possible. Criminals target those who look like easy victims, so appear confident and alert. The only sure way to avoid becoming a crime statistic is to steer clear of dangerous areas altogether. But if you must venture in, go prepared, follow your instincts, do your homework, strengthen numbers, and stay on high alert. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, as the old saying goes. In neighborhoods like these, it could save your life. Here are the worst cities to live in. Frequently asked questions. Why would anyone live in these places? Beats me. I guess some poor souls don't have a choice, while others just can't leave the familiarity of the hood. Personally, you couldn't pay me enough to live in any of these urban hellscapes. Give me rolling hills, low crime rates, and neighbors who don't deal drugs or shoot each other. Thanks very much. Are they really that bad? You tell me. In East St. Louis, you have a nearly 1 in 10 chance of being a victim of violent crime. Lovely. City center, Cincinnati, looks like a scene out of The Walking Dead. Abandoned buildings, garbage everywhere. Packs of wild dogs roaming the streets. Sounds like paradise, doesn't it? These neighborhoods didn't end up on worst of lists because of their charming architecture and civic pride. They're dangerous, dilapidated, and downright depressing. What about gentrification? Will that help? Gentrification is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, an influx of investment and more affluent residents can improve infrastructure, bolster safety, and raise property values in struggling neighborhoods. The downside is that lower-income residents often get priced out of their own communities. There's no easy answer here. For neighborhoods as far gone as these, major redevelopment may be the only option left. But cities need to make affordable housing and resources for longtime residents a priority. Should I avoid these places altogether? Yes. Unless you have a death wish or are looking to score some heroin, I highly recommend steering clear of America's worst neighborhoods. Stick to the tourist areas, people. Your life may depend on it. Look, I'm not saying these neighborhoods are all bad. There are good people doing their best everywhere. But if your idea of a nice evening is a leisurely stroll without getting shanked, maybe stick to the burbs. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to find a safe place to call home. Unless you're into the whole dice with death thing, in which case, be my guest. But don't say I didn't warn you that Flint, East St. Louis, and Camden aren't exactly candidates for Neighborhood Watch of the Year. Stay safe out there, folks, and consider investing in some Kevlar.